speaking personally, as somebody who was trying to do what was right, the distraction and temptation that it introduced into my life,
Crash and burn.
it it, it was just unnecessary.
Yes.
It was completely unnecessary. I could have been more successful in school. I could have got better sleep. I would have been so much less distracted and so much more successful at a time where it really mattered.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Interstate Podcast. We're back. We are back. And today's episode is going to be amazing. We have a guest host of Nolan Landoin III.
Howdy.
And our special guest today is Ryan Riemer.
Hello there.
Ryan is amazing. He is a local pastor, a father, a husband, and a PE teacher, and he even owns an official poop costume, which is amazing. It has a hood, like the poop emoji, everything. It's so cool. And he was the summer camp champion leader of the Olympics. Dude.
I don't know how you didn't lead with that.
How did you win the Olympics? I want to jump right in because there's leaders that want to know.
Oh,
Can you give us some advice?
absolutely. Yeah. I don't have a formula, but I can tell you that there was things that we focused on intentionally that I know made a difference. And before I say any of that, though, shout out to Ruby. This year, we had co-leaders. In my opinion, bigger teams with co-leaders was such a great move. And me and Ruby, we just hit it off right away. She has...
Dude, Ruby's amazing. She's hype.
She's inspirational.
Yes.
And she's got an energy, and she says stuff that I don't say. And she'll just be the first one to say it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's it. So she complimented my style really well, and Ruby was amazing. We also had really strong student leadership, Piper in particular, but I mean, it takes a lot of different kinds of students, to lead in a lot of different kind of ways. So I don't have a formula, but what we focused on for sure was number one. I think I said I do really want to win. If you're gonna do something,
That's
I mean,
true.
come on.
That is true.
But let's focus on the process of just blessing everybody the whole time. And
Wait, so like your team?
My team.
Okay.
This is a conversation we had when we first got together and met each other, is that we weren't going to focus on some outcome because we didn't want to be focused on that the whole time. We wanted to be focused on the process of blessing others. And I actually think that's really good advice for anybody that's competing at anything. I heard she's a WNBA player, but she's a coach on kind of the mental aspect of competition. And she always says, and they always say, trust the process, surrender the outcome. And that's the way that you stay present in every moment. And I knew the best way to do camp is to seek the Lord and try to be a blessing in everything that you do. So we try to do that with the skit. We try to do that with all the ways that we competed. In fact, everything started with us praying that we would be a blessing every single time.
Yeah.
And so that was our focus the whole time.
That's amazing.
That was my focus the whole time, is we're not here to get something, we want to give. So that's what and that made a difference in how we did everything. Not worrying about what the points were at the end of the day.
Right.
But just being in every moment and giving it the best that we could. Nobody hesitated to pick up the crab daddy.
Right, right. Everyone was just giving it.
We just we just went for it. And the skit too. We prayed every single time we worked on the skit. We just prayed that it would mean something to somebody and that it would be helpful to the people that watched it. So that's how we approached the skit. I don't think any of us really even thought our skit was like the best, but we were happy with it. And trust me, the best time we ever ran through the skit was the actual skit.
Dude,
It was
awesome.
it was so clearly like different than any other time we practiced it.
Hype. There's hype.
It was, yeah, just
Nolan,
right.
What team were you on? What
I
color?
was yellow.
You were yellow team. Did you know who was gonna win?
I knew we weren't gonna.
What place were you in?
Dead last.
Oh no!
It was.
Did you know green was gonna win?
I knew it was either gonna be green or red.
Red, yeah.
They were the two strong. They were
Yes.
the two strongest.
It was
teams.
really neck and neck in the up to the skit.
They
White was right there too.
Oh yes, yes. You're right.
green
I
just had probably a lot of really strong players or people.
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you think it was rigged? You think green had an unfair advantage?
Maybe Tanini rigged it.
Shout out to Tania in the comments if you think she might have rigged camp a little bit, maybe boosted some of the. You never know how it goes at summer camp, but there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes.
There's no way the teams out there were just names out of a hat.
No.
I agree with that.
I'll be honest with how we make the teams. Tania and I in the background try to spread out the teams as evenly as possible. We try. Before we move on, that was really good what you said about camp. Can you just give our younger leaders just a really like rote tip or like a Cliff's Notes, like here is what you should be shooting for to win camp? I've never won camp, so I'm going to be listening as well.
I would say don't focus on the outcome. When we do that, a lot of times we kind of make ourselves miserable and we set ourselves up for disappointment. If we wouldn't have won, I don't think any of us would have cared. The way that we did camp, every single one of us would have been proud with what we did because we knew that we really gave.
Yeah.
And we did our best. So
Yeah.
I would say focus on the process of being present for every single thing and pay attention to how what you're doing is a benefit to the people around you.
That's so good. That is good.
And I mean, pray. we actually didn't.
Jesus, help us win. No, I'm just kidding.
I would actually be lying if I said we didn't pray to win.
We'll have to
I
talk
said-
about that maybe later.
I said, I think when we prayed
they
about winning, we said, God, we really want to win. But please just let us be a blessing right now.
Yeah.
And then when we prayed that, we believed that we would be.
Yeah.
And I think we were.
Dude, that just gives me a picture of God listening, and then each of the teams, they're all praying the same thing. Lord, we really want to win.
But that's
God's
it.
like, whoa, guys.
But seriously, that would be the best camp ever.
True.
It would be the best camp because all the little things would happen that
True.
that make the memories.
You got something?
I think the team that would win, if that were to happen, would be the team that would say, "Let us win if it is within your will."
Oh, gosh. We're going deep now. I mean, it's too early in the show to get this deep right now. God's will in our victories at camp. Like I think God is interested in our attitudes probably more than our victories. Like about everything, even competition.
For me, it was the win. It was the win that all of us were committed to it, and that we're committed to that.
That's so good. Well, just like last year in our first episode, I want to keep talking about camp a little bit. What do you guys got, like something that just was different I know we do camp every year, same place, and it's pretty much the same schedule, more or less. But like, what hit different this year for you guys? And Nolan, this is up for grabs. Like anybody, I have something too I could add.
Everyone, for one, there was no one sleeping in the back.
Oh, during chapel.
Yeah, there's no one sleeping in the back during chapel. That was pretty cool. Everyone was paying attention, which I've never seen before. During the sermons, everyone was paying attention and listening with the intent of receiving, not just sitting there staring blankly, or some might have, but
For sure. That's I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah. Chapel was just lights out, just so good. Shout out to Michael Hammond, our speaker, who just commanded the room. He was prayed up. He was prepared. You could just tell it was so good.
he pulled out a sword.
He pulled out an actual sword, which was sharp,
Sword.
by the way.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're gonna bring a sword prop to camp, it better be sharp. You know what I mean? It's teen camp.
Bring it to the cabins.
That was like Goose with a mirror. If you're gonna bring a mirror,
Yeah.
you better smash that thing.
Better take a hammer.
All of us were just shocked when Goose
So
shattered the mirror.
good. So good. What about you, Coach? You got something that was sit different at camp?
Maddie let all of the musical worship just unfold to me in slow motion. And I didn't know how that would be received, but that everybody went with it was such a beautiful surprise to me.
Yes.
And I loved that. But to me, the thing that was different as a leader was having a partner leader.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a game changer for me. It was a game changer for my team to have two of us there.
You're not outnumbered. I'm guessing.
It was beautiful to have a man and a woman there too.
Oh yeah.
I think that was good for just identification with everyone.
Yeah. So I'll just give some context for any listeners who don't know. We do camp we usually do 8 teams, roughly 6 kids or something around there. And then this year we did 6 teams with more kids and 2 leaders. So just the teams were bigger and less of them, which for the MC, the person in charge of doing it all, was amazing. So all of it was, I don't know what leader did that idea, maybe Siggy or Tania. I don't remember, but it was a great idea. That was different and win-win. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So
that was a big difference for me.
Yeah.
I think it allows for more freedom in the skits because you can have more going on too.
It's true. There's more people, less pressure, I guess. You don't feel as alone.
The small teams though also makes it so you're a lot closer and can and more. You can talk. You can talk longer about the things.
Yeah.
And having less people I feel like makes it so you can talk more about things without having to. I don't know. You can talk more about things.
Right.
When there's less
right.
people.
Yeah.
Too. So.
It was good. Camp was great. Camp was probably the best, honestly. Honestly, it's probably the best. We're already thinking about next year. I can't wait.
Yeah.
What do you think about a repeat, Coach?
A repeat?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean winning again? Oh,
Don't act like you're not going to try to win again.
Well, every time I'm a leader, I'll try to win again. but I already told everybody all my secrets, so
That's true. You guys got to run with those.
And if everybody, I see. That's the thing too, though. I don't think my focus has to be what everyone else's focus is, because I know the leaders made it amazing for the students on all the teams, but I also know that the students make it amazing for the leaders.
It's true.
And
that is true.
You know, I really do. I don't actually care that much about winning again.
Right.
I really don't. I really
Yeah.
I feel like I've know what it is now. I've got it. I could say I checked that
Yeah.
box, and now I just really want to, yeah,
That's like the
do what I've
opposite.
said over and over, is just be a blessing,
Yeah.
teach my kids to do it right, and it's gonna be
It's going to be fun.
it's gonna be
Really.
amazing. I
Yeah.
know it's gonna be great every time.
That's like
So
the opposite of Tom Brady. I feel like Tom Brady's like, I got the Super Bowl. I'm already like chomping at the bit to win next year. Guess that's an old reference now, but that's all. I don't watch sports anymore. So that's all I know.
Tom Brady only retired a few years ago.
I know, but I don't even know. I couldn't even name a single sports player. All right, moving on. We all want to get to know you a little bit better. So I have a question that I think will sort of like round out who you are.
okay,
You ready?
I don't know.
So you're a dad, you're a pastor, and you're a PE coach, and you're a husband. That's 4 huge, huge responsibilities in this last year. So maybe just summer camp. What have you grown in the most and why? What
Which
have you learned the most about, and what have you grown into like a little bit better of a leader in those positions?
And you're gonna edit out like my 20-minute pause right now as I think about that.
I don't want you to like, I just want it to be natural.
Go
Like,
with your
what
gut.
do you, yeah, go with your gut. Like, what do you think you've learned a lot about this last year in one of those? I'm sure you've learned
Okay.
a lot in all of them.
No, it's the same thing with everything.
Yeah.
Um, I, in every single one of those things, I feel pretty much completely inadequate. But I have really good people around me that I partner with. So I am a I- I was a husband before any of those things.
Mm.
And my partner is everything.
Yeah.
And so that's my priority, honestly. And that's, I would say, first, before I jumped into anything else. She's got to have my back, and I've got to have hers. So I know God made me a husband. I know God gave her to me and me to her. That's biblical.
Yes.
She's from God for me. So, and she's a good thing. So all that straight from Scripture. So I know that was put in my hand first.
Mm.
So
That's good.
one of the writers that Michael Hammond quoted was Larry Osborne, and I've read some Larry Osborne too, and I've heard him say in a conference, and he was written about it in books, that faithfulness trumps potential. So whatever he's been put in your hand is yours to be faithful with.
Mm.
And his point that he was making was that has to be more important than anything else you're going to go out and get or achieve or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what's already there, be grateful and steward it well. And if I've messed up, whatever I've messed up in, if I keep coming back to my faithfulness to Angela, that's blessed me.
Yes.
So,
Dude, shout out to Angela, Camp Mom.
Man.
We miss you, Angela.
Yeah, actually,
Summer Camp 2025. Hashtag bless.
which would take me out of the running because
Ooh.
I'd have to stay with.
It might be the only way we could win.
Well, you know, another reason I hesitated to answer that, I wasn't gonna go here, but
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it now, but But I have thought a lot about staying back with the baby so Ange could go to camp, because I believe in her so much and
She's
what she
amazing.
has to give,
Yeah.
and who she would be to the girls and boys there,
Yes.
um, is invaluable. And usually feel like she's got way much more to give than I do, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to sound self depreciating or anything, but she is amazing.
She's epic.
So
Yeah.
that to me has always got to be number one. And actually,
That's great.
my
That's great.
mentor that I um apprenticed under, he really made a point of saying, you can't, if you are off being a hero to everybody but your family,
Ooh,
then you're not really showing people how to lead your family well.
that's so good.
And I think God calls different people to do different things, but for me, I know He gave me a family. So even starting with Interstate, I didn't start this ministry until I believed that I wasn't doing Angela any disservice by being out of the house and at that time. And
I think
Brianna even came to Interstate before I ever really fully involved myself.
That's right.
I remember she was at my first camp. That was the first time I think I met her. She was on my team.
Yeah.
But
My
in
team.
Arambi.
Yeah.
My team too. I thought we could win that year, honestly.
So did I.
I think your answer was like the most beautifully detailed happy wife, happy life I've ever heard in my life, but it's true. If you can take care of your partner, because it starts there, and each other, you should really, it's a two-way thing, but like then all the other stuff kind of flows out. Even your relationship with the Lord like can enhance if your partner is cared for, your first priority. It's so good. Such a good I think too, our leaders represent great marriages, which is really good for youth kids to see happy marriages, godly marriages. It's like, just see it.
Yeah, it's one of the things we're teaching.
Yeah.
Even if we don't explicitly teach, we're just teaching by example.
Yeah, just be it.
But
that's so good.
And the other things, it's also just good partnerships. I have great joy in my job as a PE teacher because Mr. Hardy is right there by my side now. I've had more joy since having a partner than I've ever had in my job before.
Yeah.
And our youth ministry just is partnership. It's what it is. I'm not doing it on my own, and if I was, it would probably burn me out and stretch me way too thin.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I could be more fully immersed in every part of it.
Sure.
There's parts of it that other people just handle, and for my part, I've been focused on encouraging the people that I've connected well with, and checking in and praying for them, and
That's
being
awesome.
there and just letting God use me however I need to be in the moment. But
that's so good, man. Having a partner changes everything.
But that's the big answer. Yeah. Partnership.
Yeah, partnership and doing that well. Support. Before we move on, I want to ask Nolan. You have been a student this year.
Mm-hmm.
You have helped out with the youth group. You're like a youth group behind the scenes servant. You've served church this whole last year. And you're also, so you're a student, a servant, and you're also a son. What avenue do you think that you have enhanced or increased or learned the most about this past year, summer camp to summer camp?
Oof.
Just choose one. It's one thing that you've grown in.
Oh. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And why?
This is a hard one.
I can answer it for you.
Do it. Answer it for me. gonna be thinking about this.
Well,
for
I
a
can't
while.
answer about the sonship.
Not the son.
No, if Nolan's parents are watching, comment down below what something he's increased in at home.
I mean,
But for sure, for church, you have been diligent. You know, you have been, even if you can't make it, you make it known. Like your communication is good.
well, I work on the sound booth. I gotta, and I
Yeah.
gotta make sure to let you
Yeah.
guys know so you don't have Biz on the drums when he needs to be back there.
Exactly. So you've grown a ton, I think, and that shows your maturity, but it also shows like your care for something that God's entrusted you with. Sometimes it's hard to be encouraging, or it's hard to be communicating, you know, even if you can or can't make it. So that's one thing I think you've been good. So yeah, I like your answer. Husband for me, 100%. Like all the other things, I'm kind of mid. I'm really trying to be a better husband this year or this past year and forevermore. I think like that's the spice of life I'm learning is like dial that in, pay great close attention to your partner.
Yeah.
Things will flow. So I want to jump back to a different topic, something I've been stewing on. If you guys don't know that Ryan, his fitness, he's excellent in shape. Well, he's a PE teacher, so that's probably a prerequisite, or it should be.
It's definitely not.
Well, it should be.
most
Listen, you
certainly-
PE teachers that are unhealthy,
It's most
get your
certainly
act
not.
together. That being said, I want to ask, because I want to actually talk free. Just like let's just rap about this free. Like, where does fitness and eating healthy and being healthy physically in your body and faith meet? Like, where do those two things intertwine? Does God really care? Like, and why? Yeah, that's kind of where I want to go in this next segment. And Nolan, you think about it too. Stew on it. You know, think about it.
Okay.
I'm coming from a place that I'm out of shape right now. Like, I need to get going. So I'm not like here preaching. So I kind of want maybe you to help us.
Sure.
I'm sort of asking.
Can we have some advice?
Nolan and I need to work out, coach.
I work out.
I need to work out, coach. No. What do you guys think? Faith and health, wellness and health.
It's been a journey for me. So it's really personal, actually. I wish I could say God for sure gave me my body, so I got to steward it well. That's not really my motivation, but it could be. It could be yours. And if you do that, then you're probably way less selfish about it than me. But I think fitness is one of those things, like anything else, that you could receive it as a gift, in which case you'll probably really like the process of being in shape and staying healthy. Or you could be using it to get at something else. So Michael Hammond at our camp this year, our Bible camp this year, said, he was quoting somebody. I'm sorry, I don't remember the quote or who said it initially. It's not straight from the Bible, but it's sin is getting something good the wrong way. And there was definitely a time when I kind of started running cross country and track because I hated school so much, and I didn't really have a friend group, and I was super lonely and miserable at school. I genuinely hated it. I hated it, and then I had to go home and do homework. I started running for friends, and so when I just joined that sport track, I had like built-in friends that I ran with every day. So for me, it was community. I was trying to get community, and I got community, and that was good. And then when I got like really good at it and started winning races and stuff, then I had respect and admiration, and it felt like love. and people looked up to me.
Yeah.
And so I had all of that, and I think,
That's good. Some of that's good.
yeah, I think I was still
Yeah.
trying to glorify God in it
Sure.
and be a good leader and be a good friend. I kept my nose clean. I was trying to do the right thing through it
Right.
all, and I was in a leadership position
Hmm.
on my team, and so um, everybody knew what I was about, and I
Right.
was a disciple, and that's what I was. Part of me was trying to do that, but there was another part of me that really wanted community, and I really wanted love, and I wasn't motivated to win because I love winning or hate losing. It was like, if I keep winning, I'll keep having
Yes. The
this
joy.
respect from
Yes.
people.
It's
So,
all tied together.
and that was a really immature, uh, probably motivation to exercise and be really fit and healthy. I wasn't after being fit and healthy. I was after like winning. I mean, I wanted to have a good reputation. I wanted to go to college and run. I just,
So what's different now?
What's
Contrast
different?
that with now.
okay. What's different?
Well, you're not racing anyone now.
Sometimes I still,
Yeah.
I like to race.
Right, right.
Now, what's different is I went to, I, I, I trained for an ultra marathon, a 50-kilometer race, which was a 31-mile race.
Whoa.
It was in the mountains and in cool California.
Wait, when was this? Give us some context.
I think
here.
Ryland was probably like 1 or 2. So it would have been in probably maybe like 15,
2015.
something like
okay.
that.
That's crazy, dude.
14 or 15. Ryland was little.
50 miles?
No, 50 kilometers.
50 kilometers.
31 miles.
That's
Yeah.
still crazy.
In 2015.
It's a long ways. I don't have any ambition to do that anymore.
No.
Because this is what I realized there. I finished the race in 5 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay. Is that good? Or I don't know.
Well, I was a dad of 3 with 2 jobs, and I finished the race.
Just finishing is probably
So
really good.
for me, that was a win. That was
Right.
all I was trying to do.
Right.
And I was trying to stay alive through the whole thing, and like,
Not injure yourself. What was the place? Do you know your place?
I don't even know. I don't know my place.
First.
I think I might have placed in my age group, maybe 3rd or something in my age group.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing: the guy that won, I knew him in high school,
Whoa.
and he won in 3 hours and 6 minutes.
No way.
So
dude.
more than 2.5 hours faster than me.
No
And-
way. 2.5 hours?
Yeah, and it was a course record, and it was really impressive. In high school, he would come to Elk Grove and spend the summer with his dad, but his mom lived in like Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
And so he was winning everything in Oregon. I was winning a lot of big races down here, and he would run with our team during the summer, and we were like on equal footing as far as
Yeah.
like talent and ability at that time. The difference is he got to go to college. He never had to stop running. He went pro. As far as I know, like the only person that was there with him at the race was his dad, who's from Elk Grove.
Yeah.
And I had
Your whole family.
Angela,
Yeah.
Brianna, Delaney, and Rylan. Our friends came, like
Yes.
some of our best friends just came to watch and cheer for me.
Now, they spent the day there.
And they spent the day there.
Were they just waiting at the finish line for 5.5 hours?
I think my mom and dad came too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like 5 hours just
Dude.
at this race in one place.
They might have dipped out to eat something, baby.
Maybe so, yeah.
No one would know.
But I was like, I was like listening to my girls cheer for me at the top of their lungs.
Yes. Oh, that's
and,
sweet.
And
That's
I was
sweet.
thinking, if I was him, I would want what I had.
Right. Right.
This is what I've been dreaming of my whole
Sure.
life, is just not the running,
Sure.
but the family and the friends, my lifelong friends. And I have I have the love and acceptance I've
Yeah.
always wanted, and it's not going anywhere.
Dude.
And it's not because I'm winning races. And so that was a big perspective change for me.
31 miles is insane, bro.
There,
I'm just saying, what's the longest you've
No.
ever run, Nolan?
not that long, but there was a guest speaker I heard once. I was at a camp thing for a week, and he was an ultra runner, and he's ran 150-mile races,
That's
and
insane.
he's training for a 100-mile race. A 100-mile race takes 24 hours of straight running,
Dude, I'd need some titanium kneecaps.
Yeah.
and he
And
does it.
some hip, like,
And he does it, and
protection.
you're alone for most of it. You're alone just running.
And it's nighttime. Like you.
And he said he literally just is running and like talking to God, and like I think you might have met him. He was at the rummage sale this year.
That's Forrest Gump style right there. That's
Forrest
Yeah,
Gump ran
that's
like
amazing.
10,000.
I have zero drive to do that anymore. What I have now, and this is where I'm at as a 44-year-old. Everything that you said, husband, dad.
right. Those things are priorities that
What I have is a sport or an exercise that I really like, and I like to do it, and I don't have to make myself do it. I just want to.
yeah.
And when I do it, when I run in the morning while the sun's coming up, it's just so beautiful. And I feel like it's all just a gift.
Yes.
And if I miss a couple days, that's okay. And when I get back to it again, I feel like what I have is a gift from God to be able to enjoy something that happens to keep my heart and body healthy and strong.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm at. And I don't know how anybody can just get there. I don't have a formula for just getting there.
Yeah.
Just start running one
just
day and
start
just work
doing
your way
something.
up.
But you won't like it.
You'll hate it at first.
You maybe, but
learn
where I'm at,
yeah.
and in which I don't know if is duplicatable.
Yeah.
Where I'm at though is, I have the love. I have the love I've had forever been chasing. I use running some for my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
It helps my brain. I know I'm a better person when I do it. And it doesn't have to be running. It could just be a circuit workout with the kids at school. I have that built in too. If I need a workout,
Yeah.
I'll just do what my students are doing. I just, for me, I feel like it's been plopped in my lap since I've been a runner for over 3 decades. My knees are strong, like my body holds up with it,
That's awesome.
and I don't need to get anything. I don't need to use it to get anything.
I feel like physical exercise is a lot like our walk with the Lord. Like there's no middle ground. There's no gray area. We're chipping away at like building something beautiful that's sustainable,
Yeah.
or we're backpedaling into the abyss. Like it's a constant climb or a constant. And the trick is too with physical exercise and faith, it feels like the enemy would have us just think like, no man, just chill, and you can have both. And it's like that's not true with either. Like, or what did Michael say at camp? He uses it's like when you can't use your muscles.
Atrophy.
Dude, that's it.
Yeah.
What was that? That was so good.
If you don't
Sleeping.
exercise your spiritual muscle, it'll atrophy. It'll shrivel. It'll shrink. Right? You won't have that strength in the Lord.
He talks about being a sleeper.
You know,
Dude,
it's
He's
like
talking about being in a
right.
coma. In a coma, one of the worst things that happens
Is
to
the
your
muscles.
body is you don't use your muscles, so
Ah.
that get weak and go away.
I mean, if you're in a coma for 10 years, you'll wake up and not be able to walk.
Because your muscles.
Your muscle, you'll be a twig.
So I think like the practical step with that is physical exercise. Like none of us are in a coma, but just sitting is the same sort of thing. Like you're in
man.
awake, but you're just sitting there. So it's like getting out moving is so good for you.
Something I read today. Well, something I read today was about there's multiple places in the New Testament, Paul and Peter both say, flee, like run away from lust.
Mm.
And without those verses coming to mind somehow, there's been a couple times lately where I've been kind of sharing with some younger people who've confided in me about lust problems, that if you get up on your feet and go somewhere else,
It's better.
it's better. Get up on, dude. If you start feeling that way, stand up and
Yeah.
maybe just go run.
Dude, this has hit me from camp. Michael Hammond's Disneyland line. So here's the thing. It's a little off scripture, but it's not. He said, like, the scripture's like, there's always a way that God will give you a way out.
Way
Okay.
to escape,
So
yeah.
the way I look at that is we're tempted with something, lust, whatever. And there's like this one way out. But Michael was like, no. You're in line. And there's just one exit after another exit after another exit.
Yeah.
Just take one of the exits. There's a lot of them. Like, it's not just this one chance to escape.
Yeah.
Like, if you're on your feet and moving, you'll find a chance to
And
leave.
that-
When I on like for Disneyland and like giving exits, and I've actually, never mind, this is off topic.
It's okay. Yeah.
Never mind.
That hit me, though. That hit me. To be able to flee, like, multiple hang tough.
There's different entrances and exits, and
Yeah.
rather than the main way that you see, right?
Yes.
I was on a long line once to go into Disneyland, like at opening to do something, and a security guard came up to us and was like, "Hey, come this way with come this way with me," and they let us in. And we were the first people in, or some of the first people in.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool.
Surprises.
So good.
He'll always give you away.
Yes. Just circling back to the exercising your faith and exercise. You're comparing faith and exercise and say, chipping away at it. I'll say this about making habits is I believe in discipline and making habits and following through even when you're not up to it. That's one way to create muscle memory and strength is just showing up and doing it when you don't. And that, rather than doing what you feel like, just knowing that it's, to me, it's focusing on the process. I get up way earlier than I have to be anywhere. I get my time reading in. I get my time praying in. It's just going to happen because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And it's not less authentic when I don't feel like getting out of bed, or I don't have, even if I don't have a great attitude about it. It's the same thing, like sitting down, opening up your Bible, even if you're just praying one of the Psalms or something, you did it. You got up and did it, and it's in your head now. And if you think about it, it's going to be in your heart, and
It's beneficial.
it's beneficial. And I think fitness, there's definitely some parallels with getting up and showing up, putting your shoes on, maybe just doing enough so that you still are going to be able to get out of bed tomorrow and do it. And
there is a happy point with fitness when you break through and
You feel good.
The difference is, like, those times of I just don't want to do it or get up or any of that, they sort of go away. You sort of like get to a point where you're like, I can't wait to get up and get this going.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's going to make me feel good. The lie is it's not going to be good. It's going to be too hard. It's it's bad. You'll hate it. And actually, it's the opposite. It's so much of that is like our faith as well.
Exactly. I've never
Yeah.
just hated it if I'm actually up and doing
Yeah.
it.
It's the
And
same with the Bible, dude.
the-
If we read the Bible, like your heart is like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be boring. And it's like if you get into it, you're like, oh my gosh, that was food for my soul. It's so good.
Working out your spiritual muscles like working out anything else. Once you get going and you get in the rhythm,
Yeah,
you just feel so good.
yeah,
Yeah. Galatians
You
6.
feel healthier and
And there's a few other places too that say something like, let us not become discouraged or weary in doing good, for in due time we will reap if we do not become weary.
that's so good.
Just having faith that there's going to be a harvest if you're planting the seeds.
Yeah,
But if you don't plant the seeds, then you're definitely
It's
not
not
going
gonna
to
happen.
reap a harvest.
Oh.
It's going to same with your body or with your physical or with your walk with God, with your faith.
Mm.
That's the beautiful thing, I think, that we can have confidence that we will reap a harvest.
That's so good.
Oh,
We will reap a harvest.
I think only an experienced pastor could have flipped to a verse like that as quick as you did.
Well,
You knew the exact verse.
Where it was.
I did not bring
You-
my Interstate Bible,
Do
which
you know
I
what
can't read.
I was gonna
I brought
comment.
my massive print that you could probably
I
read
could read
from
it
wherever
from
you're
here.
at.
I was
Yeah.
like, I need a Bible like that.
You just you opened your Bible. It seemed like almost to the exact page.
It made me think of the
Dude,
sword.
it's
Like he was
discipline.
just ready.
It honestly is
Yeah.
discipline, though. It's
the
year
situation.
after year after year after year.
Yes.
Only an experienced pastor.
Well, for me in all of this, it felt like an intervention, and I feel like ready to work out again. I appreciate it.
Receive it.
I do. I
Receive it as a gift.
So
If
I'm.
God gives you the ability to enjoy it,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
But-
need my mornings. I've been slacking on my mornings, but giving them
just
quiet
get up.
time to the Lord. But I need to actually also quiet time for my body as well. What do you think, Nolan? A little 5 a.m. jog?
I work out at 5 a.m. during the school year.
Where?
There's a sports facility at the Sylvieville Christmas Tree Farm.
Can I come?
There's a sports facility at the Sylvieville Christmas tree.
Yeah, there's a baseball.
Can Coach and I
Oh,
come with you
that's
and
cool.
lift some weights?
I go with my brother who has the card, but but maybe at some point when I have my own card to get in. I don't know.
You get a guest pass.
Props to
Well,
Nolan.
the owners are really good family friends
Yeah.
of my family.
Do you lift weights, Coach?
He has a gym in his garage.
I work on strength regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not always just pump and iron, but I do a lot of body weight
exercise.
stuff
Yeah, yeah.
that I can do anywhere.
Dude, I feel like that's hot right now. The body stuff.
when
is like,
you-
it's everywhere.
Actually, as part of my curriculum that I teach at school, there's all kinds of body control and balance stuff. Like I've got just ideas
Yeah.
like crazy, and
Yeah. Wall sits.
When you
Oh, yeah.
no, please
10-minute wall sits right now.
at karate they'll have everyone line up in a wall sit and then walk across you, and then walk across everyone.
I like that's a good youth group game.
dude,
No, that's not a game.
We'll get Siggy walk across all of us.
I think we just
Put in the
collapse.
comments Siggy wall sit if you want to see that, because we'll bring it out this Tuesday.
we've got one youth group student with a broken femur already.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get a
Let's
couple
go
more.
let's go for a few.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if
No,
this
you're
happens.
not. Let's have Nolan go first.
No, I'll make sure to be in the booth that week.
Yeah. Okay, so our last segment is these talking point cards, which you get to choose any random card. It's teen, family, or Christian, and you will pull a card and read it for us. Then we all get to riff on it. Not just you. We can all just chat about it. They're open-ended. They are a little bit vetted, but I don't know what they are. So a production person vetted them. So, but it's still a surprise to all of us. So I don't know anything either. So go ahead. Gonna go with a
Went
family
straight
card.
for the
I
family.
like it. I like it.
Didn't even think about it.
I hope it's good.
Oh my god.
Can you read it aloud?
Yeah, if you could have dinner with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why?
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Oh,
Are we allowed to say Jesus, or should we just?
Past or present, he lived. He was a human.
I'd be down to eat dinner with Jesus.
I think if our faith didn't have a God that became an actual man, no.
I have confidence that I am going to have dinner with Jesus. So
Yes, yes.
actually,
I won't say
had
Jesus just to mix
I
it
had
up.
supper with him last
I'm not
Sunday.
gonna say Jesus, and I'm not saying Jesus.
This is such a good question. I like that it's food too because you get to sit down and see how they eat. I want to see someone spectacular eat.
Is this like? What do you guys think? Is this a one-on-one meal, or like
I think it's just like a
you
family
can
dinner.
invite all your friends over while this guest comes to your house?
Let's make it one-on-one
but
just for
it's-
more detail.
But it's the
man.
family card.
Okay, they come to your house.
Yes.
They come to your house
And
for a family dinner. Say what you're going to eat
I'm
too.
a coach. I want to know the rules.
Yeah, that's good rules. That's good rules.
Oh, and what you're gonna eat?
Yeah, what you're going to eat as well. Okay, for me, currently in my life, and you guys can't throw hate at me because it's probably not as spectacular for the internet, but right now, I would have Ryan Herring, who is still alive and doing wonderfully, I hope, at my house for family dinner. We would eat sushi, but I'd have to order out. We're kind of an order out family sometimes with a guest. You just want to really get it good, you know?
I'll come and make mac and
Next
beef
level.
anytime.
Ryan Herring, though, I miss you, bro. And it would be with him because he was like one of my mentors of getting back into the faith, knowing Jesus better. And we just don't see each other, talk to each other. He's got little ones. We live so far apart. I need like 2 hours with him. And my whole family loves him, my kids, everybody. So,
Everyone loves them.
yeah. Miss him so much. It's like, that's mine. I mean, he's not a celebrity. Is he? He might be a celebrity. He's a celebrity up here, I think. But
Oh yeah.
hopefully, maybe you guys have something a little more. I'm serious.
You
though.
can go first, Ryan.
I'm serious, right?
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln.
No.
Leonardo da Vinci.
I mean, I'd eat dinner with
No,
Abraham.
I
Lincoln.
know who it is. I know who I really want to eat dinner with. I was
Jesus?
just afraid I'm gonna start crying. I would have dinner with my bro, Ryan Stilts.
Oh yeah.
He's another one that I'm confident I will eat dinner with,
Amen.
hopefully on a consistent basis
Yes.
in eternity. But
What would you eat?
ribs.
Woo!
What kind of sauce?
Whatever Jennifer, his wife, makes.
Yes. Yes.
That's that's easy.
I think that's a good answer.
It's not even a hard answer. Like that's above like my kids never knew like their grandpas who I idolize.
Oh yeah.
You know, they know their grandpas. Not I mean their great grandparents. My grandpas.
Yeah.
But I know what everybody wants and it's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Nolan.
Easy.
Oh man, I'm clueless.
Hmm.
There's a lot,
Hmm.
but you can pick from anyone in history.
Yes.
It's such a hard
Or they
question.
could be alive.
Or alive, right? Anyone in all of human history.
We both picked Orion, so no pressure.
Yeah.
I guess my brother Ryan.
That's not true.
And it's happening tonight.
Ah,
Meal?
actually, he'll be home for dinner.
Just kidding.
He'll be
you
home
don't have
from
to
work
pick
by then.
Orion.
What's the meal though? You and Ryan.
Well, if it's tonight, then we're having chicken.
This just turned into what's Nolan doing later.
We're having
This whole
teriyaki
segment
chicken
is
and
just
rice.
like, what's Nolan doing later tonight?
We're having homemade teriyaki chicken and rice tonight. So.
All right, I say we pull another one. Unprecedented. We only usually do one. I say we pull two. So it's either teen or Christian.
If
This is such a
I'm
good...
gonna keep thinking about who would I eat dinner with.
He's going teens. He's going teens.
Ooh, eat it alive.
Oh,
Is it good?
you
I can't
didn't
wait.
pick this?
No.
I think it was probably
It
Ranger.
was someone behind the scenes.
Someone behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Hey, my daughter. What do you think about teenagers being allowed or not allowed to date?
Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
I step out of what?
Oh, boy. I want to know what Nolan thinks.
Yeah.
Let's let Nolan start this one.
No,
then I wanna know
no,
what Luke thinks.
no.
Come on, Nolan. What do you think about
No.
dating? It's really... Okay.
No, you can go.
This
I
is the
think
thing.
Luke has a lot to say.
This is the thing about dating, as far as being a Christian or just like following the Bible. Culturally, and just as it's written, there's not a ton of stuff about dating. Like the way they did it is flip backwards completely. So anyone that uses the Bible as their dating mantra, it's kind of out of context already. And then you're stretching at best to use scripture. There's a ton of good ideas and good advice, but it's not specifically like, thou shalt date at 18 and thou shalt marry a nice man with a car and a solid job. Like there's no...
Well, back then, people married at.
It was
14.
arranged
People
and
ma-
much younger.
It was arranged, and they'd marry at like 14 or 15.
Yeah. So a lot of my marriage, Christian dating stuff is just like using good ideas from the Bible, but like creating my own, here's what I would do if I was you sort of scenarios. But this is going to get interesting. Why is this card in here? I'm like wriggling in my seat now.
There's two dads and a teenager. This is.
I want to know what Nolan thinks.
Two girl dads, and you don't have a sister, do you?
No, I got.
You just got
I've got
brother.
three. I've got three brothers. I'm the youngest of four.
So we
Hit
got
us, Nolan. What are you
diverse
doing?
perspectives.
Oh,
What was the specific? Can you read it again, Coach? I don't remember it. Like specifically.
how did you reach like that?
What do you think about teenagers being allowed or not
Oh.
allowed to date?
Oh. That's a very different question than I had in my head.
I think it should be allowed. Like once you're mature enough to be able to.
What's the age?
It'd probably be more maturity than age. Just depends on how mature you are.
I've seen some mature 12-year-olds, bro. Like bearded
Okay, maturity
12-year-olds.
and a little bit of age. Maturity and a little bit of age.
Okay.
But
Give us an example. Like, what does that look like? What does a mature teenager look like?
somebody that's able to make the right decisions.
You just eliminated like 99% of the teenage population
Like all people.
and other adults.
Somebody
as
that's
well.
able to think rationally.
Again.
Or
I know some 20-year-olds that.
somebody that's, I don't know, somebody, it's, oh man, thanks for putting me on the spot.
All right, what do you think? What do you think? Should they? Basically, it's a yes or no, but we could probably elaborate.
It's like a parenting question and a so I think my answer is I don't want to I think I don't want to tell at least one of my daughters that I'm thinking of that she can't do something.
Right.
I just want her to I just want to know and be confident that I, as a dad, I want to be like somebody bought her flowers and she goes like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, my dad danced with me every freaking day from the time that I was 2 years old, and you're going to give me 2 years old. What am I saying? From the time that I was an infant, you're going to
Sure,
give me flowers.
So the bar is high.
I want to set the bar like so high that, and I, here's another thing. I trust my wife so much to impart knowledge and
Woman to woman.
and wisdom
kind of knowledge, yeah.
when I'm like around or not around. I really am. I really have a lot of confidence that what we're doing is equipping our daughters to make good decisions
Yes.
for when they decide the time is right. But in my experience, nothing that happened before I met Mrs. Riemer was any good. And
I know what you're. Oh, okay. I heard that.
okay.
I was trying to decipher what you just said, but I heard that. Okay, I understand.
And I thought when I was 16 and dating that I was pretty smart and that I loved the Lord and that I had a good head on my shoulders and that I was thinking all the way around every choice. But I was still, speaking personally, as somebody who was trying to do what was right, the distraction and temptation that it introduced into my life,
Crash and burn.
It was just unnecessary.
Yes.
It was completely unnecessary. I could have been more successful in school. I could have got better sleep. I would have been so much less distracted and so much more successful at a time where it really mattered than I was.
That's
And
really good. Come on, teens. That's good advice right there.
Yeah, I'm just speaking for myself. If I tell you don't do it, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you probably think you're as smart as I thought I was. But without going into my whole life story,
yeah,
which most of the people listening probably already know
from sermons.
Yeah, from sermons.
Yeah. Dating gives you a lot of sermons.
The one reason I can think of to date is when you're ready to get married and you're getting to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dating is.
Okay, I'm going to give you my answer quick, and then I'm going to stir the pot. Yeah. Something just came to me, and I feel like it's good. We're really getting into it in the back half of this podcast. Okay, here's my quick answer. Quick answer is no. Just don't date. The reason is you need to be ready to be married. I think Nolan hit it on the head. If you're mature to get married, then you're mature to date. It's still going to probably not go well. But my hands are off at that point. Like, just don't do it. That's it. That's my answer. Just don't. Like, that's it. I don't think. Yeah, that's it. Okay, but here I'm going to stir the pot and even contradict myself. Like, because this just came to me while you were talking, Coach. This is it right here. How does God. Okay. I don't even want to say this, actually.
Do it.
So, the Lord will redeem. You will learn.
Oh, yeah. You
will learn, first of all, some really, really, really good lessons from dating. The Lord will redeem it in a beautiful way. It sort of tiptoes where Paul says, like, hey, grace, it's so good. You're giving the Lord the opportunity to shower you with grace, right? So what do? Keep on sinning? Because that'll just glorify the Lord, like, because he can give us grace. It sort of tiptoes into that, and I get that before anyone says anything, but, like, where's that line? Like, I really do think dating can give you... I mean, if you're a guy or a gal and you're strong and you date and you're strong with the Lord, you're going to know in a minute, like, this is a bad idea. Like,
yeah. What's the difference between having a good friendship and dating?
That's a better question too.
Isn't it romance? You're
just introducing some
attraction.
I think it's when you're holding hands.
What about friends that hold hands?
That's true.
I think friendship is super
That's true.
valuable. I think putting yourself in a situation where a romantic situation before you're married is
Yeah.
is like putting yourself in a romantic situation with somebody else when you are married.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. You haven't gotten the gift yet. The gift of your husband or your wife yet. So don't think about romance. I think that's Song of
Yeah.
Solomon, right? Don't
Yeah.
awaken love before it's time.
Yes.
And
Don't awaken love
I
before
think
it's
while
time.
you're a teenager, it's not time yet.
You got way more things to do.
There's more important stuff that
There's-
you need to not be
dude.
distracted to do. This world is so full of distractions. I do know, I will say this. I know people that dated as teens and are married now,
Yeah.
and that are Christians and doing their best in youth ministry and to follow Jesus. Um, I mean, I know people, and they talk about the guilt and shame that they still carry because of choices that they made,
Right.
like together when they're married to each other now. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and so just because it all works out in the end, it doesn't mean you have. And there's grace sometimes.
Yes.
Like my 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 pre Angela relationship ended very badly, and there's a lot of pain, and there's a lot of decisions. Um, there's a lot of decisions and choices in mine and Angela's life that God redeemed and worked together for good. Grace is huge. There's no doubt about that. I don't think there's a situation that's unredeemable. However, I think waking up love before it's time,
Yeah.
awakening love before it's time is how it's written in the Song of Solomon. I think that sets us up for carrying baggage, maybe some shame
And your
and guilt if you give in to temptations that shouldn't be tempting you.
it's also
Till
upon
marriage.
another as well. That's the part that gets me. Is why I'm so serious. Why it's an easy no for me. It's because you're making a choice to possibly inflict all of what you just said, but to another.
Not just yourself.
Yeah, it's not just yourself. This decision you're making. I guess a lot of sin is like that, but like, I don't know. What do you think,
And I'm
Nolan?
not
We
saying
dads
date-
have just ripped you, and you're.
No,
Nolan
I'm-
was an easy yes.
I'm not saying dating is sinful.
right.
I'm
right.
saying-
I wasn't either. I was saying like awakening love before it's time.
Awakening
I like
love
that.
before it's time.
Come on.
Getting romantic. The temptation to of fornication, and
Yeah.
it's my dad used to tell me, he was like, it's not you that I don't trust, it's the devil. And if you and her are alone and it's after midnight, there's nothing good that's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Nolan, what do you think?
Yeah.
Listen, man, just speak your mind. Speak your mind. This is the teenagers are supposed to watch this podcast.
Eh.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Speak for your group. Speak for your
Man, I mean, I think it should be allowed. There's lessons to be learned, and also, God, for Christians, you should find another person. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna date someone, you should find someone that's godly, that has a relationship with God, and you can lift each other up in your faiths, and you can lift each other up, and you just, I don't know. I think it's something that should be allowed, and something that should happen if you can do it right.
Yeah.
If you can find someone that's godly and you can help each other's faith, and yeah.
I agree. I mean, here's the thing. This is what I'm going to land on for anyone that is mature enough. Like you said, like this is the part that I struggle with. Like, what's the other option? No one's arranging marriages. So like, how does it happen?
Yeah.
And so what I say is, if you are mature enough to get married, I heard this from someone, I don't remember who, but like, serve the Lord in your life. Be careful with the things that you have and do well. And if you find someone doing that same thing, then see what happens. Like, just see what happens. You do have to go have dinner or something to get
You
to know
need-
them.
Sure.
I think it's worth it to at least try.
Yeah.
I think I appreciate what you said, and I actually appreciate that you took the opposite position. I think that I thought that I was gonna grow through dating as like a teenager. I can only speak from personal experience.
Right,
I don't
right.
know. And I think I thought I needed experience and I needed to learn. And I probably, I don't know, maybe I did grow in confidence that
Yeah.
I think I was a worthwhile person to spend time with. I don't know.
I think it definitely
But-
does help with people's confidence.
Yeah, maybe, unless you just get no after no after no after.
Well,
I
unless
don't know.
that happens.
But maybe. But I
Dude.
do also think this.
The no can be bad. Get to
You
know.
can, if you're stewarding well, what's in your hand. When I say steward, I mean, if you're faithful with what God has given you and the gifts that God gives you, and and you've got faith that God will work things out in His time. I mean, He will.
Yeah.
And reaching out to take something that I would just really seriously like write or process with somebody that's wise. I wouldn't do it without counsel. I'd be open and honest with people about your relationship.
That's really good
I would
too.
do it
Bringing
with
someone else
with some
in.
good advisors. Some
I
people
think
that
that's-
you trust.
Dude, I think that's good for teens that are going to probably choose to date anyways. If you're listening, if you're watching, my challenge to you is go in it with counsel
And prayer.
and prayer. Like, go in it with someone else that knows every detail, and you're going to be able to extract yourself quicker if you need to, and you're going to be able to shut it down quicker
Yeah.
if you need to. And that goes for every part of your life, really.
Yeah.
Like, even just outside of dating, like if you're thinking of a job or a new friend or a new hobby or a new anything, like, just get counsel. You're not asking permission. You're just letting someone know what you're doing, and it's super healthy to have someone come along with you on a journey to give you another perspective.
Yeah. Listen to perspective.
Yeah.
Partnership.
Partnership,
That's what we're
dude,
talking
comes all the way back. Wow. So it's still just a no, and a yes. Just as a summary, the dating.
And I'm apprehensive about making a rule that it's a no, especially for maybe
It's still a no,
especially
coach.
for certain daughters that I have in my mind.
I'll just say it for you. It's a no. No, it's not. It's not. Yours was like a
No, I
really think about it. Be smart.
if I say no, I feel like I'm afraid I'm saying I don't trust you,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I do want to trust my kids and be confident that I've been faithful with what God put in my hands, and
Yeah.
and
That's good.
and be confident in them.
That's so good. Last segment. This person has to be living and not a celebrity, although the line's blurred. Who do you want to see in this seat right here, Coach? We want to know. The production team will get right on it. Who do you want to see as a next guest or just a future guest of the show, and why?
Oh man.
It could be someone we don't know too, but explain if it is.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I would have put some thought into this.
We want it coming right out of your gut.
We
man.
want your gut. First one you think of.
You got any new
first
ones,
one I
Nolan?
could think of is kind of a joke, but not really. Bob Goff wrote a book that's
Dude.
really inspiring
Bob
to
Goff.
my faith walk.
Where does he live?
I believe Southern California,
Dude,
or Orange County.
come on, Bob.
I'm not sure if
I
we
know
can get
he'll
Bob
answer the
Goff.
phone if we call him, because I've called him twice and he answered the phone.
Wait,
That's so
what?
epic. Dude, Bob Goff on the podcast 2024.
That'd be sick.
I'm just saying, God's big.
God's big.
God is way bigger.
You know,
We have not because we don't ask.
my, I think, dream like two of people I'd really want would be either Nick Poksquinski.
Nick Pucks.
Poksquinski.
Yeah.
Was that Nick Wazowski? Or Ryan Herring.
Those are good. Someday we'll get them. We'll get.
Well,
both
Nick
those guys.
lives closer than Ryan though, doesn't he?
They both live about the. Yeah, you're right. Nick is probably more plausible. No, Ryan will come back.
Ryan would have to.
And I'll have him for dinner.
I
It's a
think
win-win.
Ryan would have to fly here.
It's a win-win. Yeah, for sure. This year I want Siggy. Siggy's got to get in here. He's got a lot to talk about. His life is, I mean, he's probably has a lot to say from where he's been the last couple of years to where he is now. It's great. But I think that's it. I just want to compliment you, Ryan, that when we sat down, whenever I get a chance to sit down and talk to you, it's like being next to a cool stream, like a river that is. It's like you bring so much calmness, but you also bring so much wisdom and heartfelt conversation. I appreciate that, dude. I count it as you're like my Bob Goff.
Oh,
So I appreciate you, dude. Every time I'm with you, I gain something.
You're a unique level of calm.
everybody that's in this room, I look up to for different reasons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a good room.
And God is big, and He's made you guys very special, and I've learned from all of you.
Yeah. So good.
And I mean that, and I could give you specifics.
Yeah. I love it.
And most of you are younger than me.
Totally. That's the best part about team ministry.
Yeah.
Who's older, Ryan or Luke? Who is the true ancient?
It doesn't matter. I'm as old as it gets.
Who is the ancient one?
Mysterious.
All right, that's it. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. And, dude, this is it. There's more episodes coming. Make sure that you do all the good things, like and subscribe and all that stuff so you can catch more of this podcast. Until next time, we will see you in the next episode.